settings. Hey, hello. Can you guys hear me? Is the audio working? I've got no idea. This is just a temporary sort of a situation. I'm still getting the workspace here set up, so I've got no idea what it sounds like. Hey, how's it going, Silver Falls fan? Camilla, Captain Derpy, good to see you. Can you guys hear me okay? I don't know if the music's too loud. I've just got the music coming off the speaker here. Good to see you guys. Anyway, I've been working pretty hard on getting all of this set up. Platypus Duck, good to see you. Yeah, I've just been tearing down my office and renovating and rebuilding all the workspaces. I've got a second room now that's a dedicated recording studio and a live broadcast station. So the mic's a bit stuck in a can mic. I'm using this Rode microphone, which I think sounds pretty bad. Let me see here. I'm still getting everything plugged in. I have my audio interface that I could probably switch to. I'm doing pretty good. I'm just setting some stuff up. See, I'm going to try and switch mics here. I'm going to switch audio interfaces. Here we go. I just got a crappy, I'm not saying Rode is bad, but this microphone's it's a shotgun mic. It's always been pretty awful. I'm going to turn on my phantom power here and switch. Alright. That's on. Alright, I'm just going to go to OBS and switch it up here. Let's see, what do I got? I'm going to turn it down. Hey, can you guys hear me? Hello? How is it? How's it going here? Okay. How is it? Sorry, it's going to be pretty noisy here. I'm just sort of fiddling around with that. Yeah, how's it going? Steven, good to see you. Sounds a little far away. Here, you know what? What if I just sort of pick this guy up? I'm still sort of... Okay, here we go. Alright. I'm going to put this up on this desk here. And I'm going to turn up the gain on this guy as well. Yeah, I thought it'd be fun if we just hung out while I work on setting all this stuff up. This is super dodgy here. Sorry. Alright, let me... Filters. Okay, how's that? Can you guys hear me? How's that? Any better? What if I turn that up here? Okay. Do you make noise music? You mean like Silent Hill 1 sort of things? I haven't done music like that sort of industrial sound, but I'm not saying that
I don't have that stuff in the works for future titles, since every Solar Falls game has its own style to the music. So you don't hear anything now. Hello, Captain Derpy? Okay. Was it better? Awesome. You can barely hear me. Huh. I'm gonna turn it up a little more then. Can you hear me? Hello, hello, testing 1 2. I think I'm supposed to be close to this guy. That's the thing. Anyway, hey, great. So it's yeah, great to see everyone. I'm working on, so you guys know how in the past we had I was running everything off one computer. So whether I was running the games, doing the sculpting, doing development in Unity, I was also running everything through one machine. I was running OBS and the YouTube stream. So what I've done is I've taken a second workstation that's only for the live broadcasting stuff. So now I run the development computers and workstations will be running through an HDMI into the broadcast computer, and the broadcast computer will handle all of the broadcasting. So we shouldn't have the same kind of hiccups, in the past where the computer would get stuck. Windows 10 wants to do stuff. Unity is extremely power hungry. And when sculpting, if I'm getting a high poly count, in the past we were sculpting monsters, and we just got massive slowdown. So we shouldn't have that problem anymore because I've set up this new workspace here. Hello everyone and welcome to the Sungrand ASMR. Your right ear's enjoying the music. Sorry everyone. It's set up so it's only going into one right speaker. So here's the thing, I'm using part of my recording setup right now, but I've only got one speaker setup or one microphone setup. I've ordered more cables because I'm setting up this new station here. I've run out of XLR cables, so now I'm waiting for more XLR cables to be delivered. So and I just want to take the moment to just absolutely thank everyone who's supported the games, and especially the Patreons, the Patreon supporters. Setting up the studio has been pretty expensive. A lot of cables, a lot of gear, a lot of the stuff that I was using in the past was really bad, just really bad, but I didn't have the resources to replace it. So a huge thank you to all of the supporters on Patreon who've been contributing, over the past year and a half, however long the Patreon has been up. And it's thanks to all of you guys I've been able to purchase the gear that I needed to set up this studio. And there's still a heap of things that I still need to get to finish setting up the studio as well. But over time, I'll just keep picking things up and improving. Thanks everyone. So actually, I'm going to show you something neat here. So this is the recording booth, and what it's designed to do is it's designed to fold up and disappear so it's out of the way, and then I can use the space for other things as well. This is just one of the rooms in my house that I've converted into a full-time live broadcast and recording studio. So what I'll do now, I'll set down my Earl Grey tea and I'll show you how this thing folds up here. Okay, so that thing up there, see how is that? Do I need to use this thing here? So that kind of folds up a little, right? Alright, so I've built, as you can see there, so it didn't take that long to put away the recording booth. So I'm designed this space to be modular, so I can quickly adjust it based on the job that I'm doing at that time. So the recording booth folds away really quickly. I'm actually going to put up some hooks so I can hang some instruments up here. I'm probably going to mount some other things, some monitor mounts, so I can use them when needed as well. Elon, how's it going? Good to see you. Um, Silver Falls fan, I've listened to you describe your old working space, and it baffles me you did the whole Wii U 3DS crusade that way. I've I've always wanted to share my workspace with you guys. Just I think it's fun to hang out, and it was a mess. It was I couldn't show you guys where I was working because it was a disaster. All my gear and equipment was everywhere. Everything was there was no space. There was no place for shelves. I couldn't organize things. Every cable was like a spaghetti, like a very fine functional spaghetti, and I couldn't risk unplugging one thing because that whole spaghetti would become unraveled. But moving forward, I'm again renovating the office. We can all just hang out. We can chat about whatever we want while I'm working on the games. So, Windows 10. Honestly, I prefer 7. On that recording booth, I just installed. It's a fresh operating system. I just installed 7. I prefer 7 because 10 just it doesn't give you the kind of control over the operating system that 7 did. And 11 is 11 takes a lot of control away from you in terms of controlling the operating system, so I really don't like it. Steven, I swear this man can do anything gaming related. There's more modular stuff in the room as well. I'm really excited about it. Oh, so I've set up this green screen so I can do motion capture. So moving forward with the games, I'll be doing motion capture in front of the green screen for the character animations. I've sent Andy Serkis an email. I don't have his phone number, or otherwise I'd be leaving him messages. That's probably the best way to contact him. But I've been sending him about 4 emails a day, because I don't know when Andy Serkis checks his emails, but I figure you get one up first thing in the morning, before lunch, after lunch, and then sometime around dinner. Hasn't gotten back to me yet, but I mean, this space is here, so if Andy Serkis wants to come in and, do some monsters for Silver Falls, that's invitations out there. Oh, hell on, you must get sleep. Thanks for stopping by the stream. We'll see you again. I'll be streaming regularly from now on. Platypus Duck, using 7. Rock on. That's my operating system of choice. Silver Falls fan. My computer can switch to Windows 11, and it constantly reminds me of that fact. Yeah, it's kind of annoying how Windows... It just takes control out of your hand. Take care, Elenon. Good to see you. Captain Derpy, here's hoping we get all the games in a collection on a physical Switch cartridge one day. I wouldn't say no, because people have been asking for that a lot, and I personally would think that's really, really cool. So if our upcoming games sell very well, because it takes quite a bit of investment in terms of money to get the physical cartridges manufactured, but I wouldn't say no to that. Oh, Steven, you're using 10, but you'll be using 11 when you build your new PC in a few months. Nice. I've seen 11. It's clean. I just don't like that you don't get to control certain things about the operating system. Thanks. So the first game that's coming up will be Guardians and Metal Exterminators remaster, and it's going to have heaps of new content. Total graphical overhaul, the new tracks that I've recorded, more playable characters, more playable monster, and more story as well. So that's what's coming with the Guardians and Metal Exterminators coming to the Switch. Then after that will be Face Takers, and I'm very excited about that. I've been holding off on working on the Face Taker soundtrack any further because the previous recording booth was very uncomfortable. It was just so cramped. It was such a tight space. And I'm sitting there with my electric guitars and my other instruments, and I'm just sort of hunched over like this, and I got to be careful not to bump into anything. You don't want to unravel the spaghetti, as it were. Whereas in this space, it's very comfortable here. I was just sort of setting up, testing the audio inputs, and it was just great. It's so great. So I can't wait to work on the Face Taker soundtrack here, especially because the Face Taker soundtrack uses a fair bit of slide instrument, and in my previous recording space, I actually didn't have space to sit with the guitar on my lap in order to play slide. There was actually no space for it. Whereas here, I can comfortably play slide guitar. Dolphin, good to see you. Super Smash. Also, this because of your games, your 3 Down Stars game became my most viewed review, around 800 views. Hey, well done. Congratulations. Nice one. I have a personal YouTube channel where I just talk about instruments, and I get 60, 70 views once in a while. But I have a video where I was drilling a hole into an acoustic bass, and I was acting silly about it. And that's got thousands and thousands of views, and it's only because people come in to tell me what an idiot I am and that I don't know anything about instruments, and I've ruined what they thought was an expensive bass. They don't know that I paid $80 for this bad instrument that I was customizing. So yeah, my most viewed personal video on my personal YouTube channel is just people abusing me for being an idiot. Okay, okay. So what I've got, I got to do some work. I'm going to screw these into the wall. I want to put instrument hooks up on these walls, so when I'm not recording, I can hang stuff up there. And then, of course, when I open the booth, I can just remove it. So I got these from Bunnings. It's the Australia Home Depot. These, I normally have like spring things that open up on the inside, but I kind of like these because it's a simple mechanism. It's simpler, easier cleanup, and you can reuse them. The other ones, once you take them down, you can't reuse them. A little bit frustrating on that. Oh, hey, I'll do an ASMR opening. Here we go. ASMR. How was that for ASMR? My school uses Windows 11 for the laptops, and sometimes the taskbar will just disappear. Great, yeah, that sounds on brand for Windows 11, honestly. Hey, Jerrel, just so you know, your mic is only in the right ear. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm still setting up my space, and I'm waiting for my other XLR cables to come in, so I can only set up one microphone, so I only have one channel coming in. Captain Derpy, I'm glad I got to be here. I had a rough day and I won't lie, so this is very therapeutic in a way. Hey, I'm glad you're here to hang out. Sometimes I have a rough day, and I just like putting on a YouTube channel, a YouTube video, and just, you know, I kind of like the stuff where it's like, Top 10 scariest ghost videos, number 10. I don't know what it is about that, but it's just kind of relaxing and therapeutic to me. Alright, what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to grab a guitar. I'm just going to mark out where I'm going to stick this guy. I kind of want to fit as many as I can on here. It got a little... Is it getting kind of dark in here, or what's the deal here? See, if I turn this on, it's going to be super bright, isn't it? Oh, it's not too bad. Oh, you know what I think? I think OBS automatically adjusted the brightness because I've closed that back wall. That's what happened. And so now I'm too dark here. I'll leave that on. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm just going to grab a guitar so I can measure out what I'm going to do here. These are really neat. I'll finish opening this packet here. I've always wanted my own ASMR channel. Be right back. So I have a A 1983 Fender Gemini. This was used in the diner music for Silver Falls Gaiden Deathly Delusion Destroyer. So in the diner, it plays the song titled Waiting for the Sun. This was used in that. Okay, so I'm just... See, these are these hooks. They're kind of cheap. They're kind of the, you know, not the worst, but they're kind of cheap because I use a bunch of them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it up in a spot. I'm going to use this pencil and just sort of mark where I think it needs to go. Alright. And there's these holes. When I cleaned out this room, there was holes left on the wall and whatnot. So. Alright, here we go. I want it as high as possible, right? And I'm going to go to the side here. But here's the thing, I want to be able to open the door to some degree still. So I think I'm going to start it there, so that way I don't have to take the instrument off the wall if I just need to open that for storage. So I think I'm going to start. I think I'll start over here. Yeah, that should be all right. I'm just going to eyeball it. You know, I'm not sending a rocket to the moon. So I think it'll be fine. It'll be good. It'll be fine. All right. But I don't want it so low that it bumps into things, you know? And it's sort of right up on the cornice there. Okay, I'm going to mark it with my pencil. Okay, so I don't have a stud finder on me right now. I've got a stud finder, but it beeps for no reason when there are no studs. It's lied to me. It's betrayed me a dozen times in the past. So I don't trust the stud finder that I have. I could just buy a new one, or I could use my knocking skills. Oh, hey. Hey, there's something there. Hey, that's great. Wow. Okay. So I actually don't even need this thing. I opened that for that spot for nothing. There's a stud there. I'm just going to go grab my drill then. Be right back. Maybe I'll just stick this guy right here for now. Oh, hold on. Stay there. Okay, that's it. That's good. I'll get the drill. Okay, all right, and then hopefully for our next live stream, I'll have my cables will be delivered and I can have stereo sound here. I better catch up with the chat. Single ear ASMR. Well, I want you to experience the world with your other ear. You know, ASMR in one ear just kind of opens you up to listening to the world around you. And so that's why I do ASMR single channel. And that is, you know, and that just opens you up, you know, and you can experience and you can feel. I don't need a stud finder. I'm right here. Nice one, Gino Z. Neo Merge. Hey, Ben. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. I'm setting up the studio. I just got to drill some holes in the wall here. I'm just mounting some instrument hooks for the wall right now. I call them guitar hooks, aren't they, you know? Let's see. Oh, yeah, that'll do it. Yeah. That's the right one. Okay. Anyway, yeah, again, you know, thanks to everyone who's contributed through the Patreon. Thank you to everyone for buying the games, for telling other people, for making content and sharing the games. It's made a huge difference. It's because of all of you guys I've been able to buy the equipment I need to set up this studio. And I'm not done yet. There's still more equipment that I need to buy. But over time, I'll just keep buying stuff and improving. All right, let's go ahead and stick this in here, huh? Oh, you know what? Hold on. I've got it. I'll be right back. I've got this tool that catches the drywall mess. I'll be right back. I'll do a power drill ASMR. ASMR channel. Right, so I really like this thing. The battery never works in it. It takes a small button battery, but you'd sort of turn on a vacuum and it holds itself onto the wall in place. It's got a laser level, but the battery again is always dead. I mostly use it because when you need to drill into drywall, there's a catch here, so you put the screw through. I'm talking to the microphone is what I'm doing. That catches the drywall mess. It's pretty nice. It's very useful. So if you do need to do work into drywall, I recommend something like that to catch the mess. It just makes cleanup a breeze. Now, if all's correct, I felt a stud in there. It should go into the plasterboard and then some wood here. Okay, there's nothing there, which is fine. That's fine, because that's what I got these for. I thought there was. I guess my internal stud finder was wrong today. That's fine. I had a Tim the Toolman Taylor moment, didn't I? Home improvement, everyone. Hey, these things are really neat. So that'll go into the plasterboard. It says 10 kilos worth of weight support, which is about 20 pounds, somewhere around there. Okay, so it has a starter bit. You got to hit it with a hammer to start out with. That's fine. Drilling that pilot hole helped reduce the mess it's going to make anyway. That's nice and flush. Okay. Real good. And what I'm going to do is take a measurement of that. So when I put the next one on, I'll just do it based on how high that is from the ceiling. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'll raise up a bit here. All right, there we go. That'll go in there just like that. It's that easy. While you were gone, a few people were asking about the 3DS games updates. I'm still working on them, but I'm trying to figure out how to format them into the new. I can't update my games the previous way. In the past, Nintendo implemented a policy where I have to do them as like a patch update, and I've never done them before, so I'm still working out how to put them into a patch update. Which is it's frustrating because I know that people are waiting for the updates, and I have the updates. I'm just figuring out how to format them so I can actually roll them out because of the eShop closure, and it's because it's the new, the new policy. Hey, I don't want anyone to feel bad about not contributing via Patreon, because that's why I don't like to talk about Patreon that much. I don't want people to feel pressured into contributing or anything like that, you know. So, you know, even if you've only got, you know, free copies of the games from when I gave out from promos, I appreciate you guys just enjoying the games, and, you know, talking about it and telling other people about the games is a huge help. But I am actively working on formatting the updates so I can get them onto the eShop, especially with Ruby River and Gaiden Deathly Delusion Destroyers. That updates, it's there, it's ready to go. It's just how do we format it for the eShop. Now with these hooks, I know for a fact it's got two holes for two screws, but the second screw at the bottom doesn't actually do anything. It's not load bearing or anything like that. It just stops it from spinning around. I'm just going to leave it there. Anyway, let's give this a test real quick. Great. Okay, time for the next one. Oh, I better catch up here. Vasonic, hey, how's it going? Good to see you. Yeah, I'm very excited about this new workspace. Again, we'll get to hang out. I've got some fun ideas for hanging out, doing live streams. Yeah. Gina say, I don't think so, Tim. Nice one. Well, I'm wearing plaid, so that's good enough to be on Tool Time, I think. Awakening, good to see you. Yeah, I've been working. Again, I've been dismantling the office, rebuilding the workspaces, and setting up this new permanent recording space. So I have the recording booth. I'll open it up in a second, just for anyone that missed it. But the recording booth folds away. A number of things fold away. The whole rear wall here becomes a green screen with my curtain, so I can do motion capture. Wait, is this the video where he finally shows his feet? You don't know if I actually have them or not, see? Because they've never been on camera. What sort of shoes do I wear, you know? Hagen Galvin, hey there, you funky indie game dev. You, a few friends and I blindly want to jump into developing our very own world-building, a heavy Fallout-inspired CRPG. Do you have any words I can use? Hey, good luck. That's awesome. I'm not sure what words you want to use. I mean, I know a lot of words. I know the best words. But what words do you want? Like words you can use in the game or words of advice on the world building? Yeah, see, that's a question. On world building and starting coding. So, oh sure, yeah, absolutely. So, my advice on world building is don't mention anything that you are not absolutely certain you can create. And what I mean by that is when you're world building, let's say for example, you're creating like a fantasy world, and characters can use magic, you know, and the way that you write your magic is, characters just born, cool, yeah, okay, the characters can use magic, they can use fire, ice, or whatever. But then all of a sudden, you just write a character, and he says, oh yeah, I come from this city, no one is born with, you know, magic or there, but we can still use magic, you know, because we have these crystals, we have magic crystals, you know. If you say something like that, that means that you have to write every single last aspect about those magic crystals now, because now you have a world where there are people who are not born with magic. So what implications does that have for the story? Because now you will have people that will be treated differently. So you have to write all of that. You have to write how some people are going to be treated as inferior because they aren't born with magic. You have to be born with people. You have to write people who are born with resentment because they didn't get born with magic, and other people did. And now you have to write every single thing about these magic crystals. What implications does that have for the world? Is there a black market for it? How does that affect how people interact with each other? Are they allowed at school? What are the rules for using magic crystals? You see what a nightmare it becomes when you introduce one small element like that. And all I did was mention one character who said, oh, I don't have magic, I'll just use a magic crystal. That's what I mean by world building, is do not write anything unless you are absolutely sure you can write all of it. And that's my advice for world building. Neomerge, I think there was at least 32 words in Silver Falls Gaiden Deathly Delusion Destroyers. There's probably at least 128 in there. I know, you know, mathematically, you know, it's a computer thing. So, yeah, good luck. You know what? Check in. I'd love to hear how your writing is going. In terms of coding, that's difficult. That's know which platform that you want to create your game for. Do you want to make it for PC, for iPhones, for Xbox, for Nintendo Switch? Know your platform first so you know exactly which software you want to use, and experiment with different software like Unity, Unreal, or whether you use something like RPG Maker, Game Maker. So know your platform first so you can pick the best software for you. And don't worry about the coding unless you know exactly which software you want to use first. The coding will come after that. There's a lot you have to figure out first before the coding. Sounds like I should pay close attention to social implications. Exactly. That's what I think is most interesting about works of fiction, is you get to make something, but it also means that you have to make everything. If you make something, you have to make everything. And that's what's interesting, because there are social implications when you have a magic system like that. Anyway, and that's sort of the writing philosophy that I consider when writing Silver Falls as well. I have to be extremely careful because Silver Falls is so in depth. It's so complex. There's so much detail, but there's always, I'm walking a fine line because there's a very real risk that I can introduce one small story element to one character and it can mess everything up for the entire story that I've spent years writing. So you have to be very careful. Yeah. Let me get this other thing in here. Vasonic, prototype mechanics before going into full development. That's a very good advice. Thanks for sharing that, Vasonic. I always prototype mechanics like that when I am working on games as well, so that's really good to share. I'm just going to grab a second guitar from over there. I'm going to do a big stretch here and try and... I got to crawl underneath this thing here. Be right back. I might bump this here. Okay, this is a Takamine? 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 I don't know. It's a Takamine G series. Okay, I have to adjust this camera because it's too dark and it's really irritating me. Let me just adjust the camera here. I'll go to Properties. I will go to Configure Video, and I will adjust the brightness manually. How about we just increase that a bit? Can we increase that a bit? I'm trying to move that here. That doesn't seem right. That's not quite right, is it? I have to fix this. Okay, hold on. Configure video. I think I have to go to camera control, exposure. I'll turn off the automatic exposure. There we go. What in Sam Hill just happened? 128. Oh, my number lock. Okay, sorry everyone. I'm having like a grandpa moment here. My number lock was turned off. Ugh. Okay. You ever hate when you're punching in a number and you think you're getting it? And, okay, so I'm not allowed to punch a number in. I gotta just manually move. Okay, it's not letting me do what I want now. Cool, that's pretty irritating. Anyway, I'm just gonna leave it like that now. Okay. Yeah, this is a Takamine G series. I got it off someone. It's like the Australian version of Craigslist. Let me just open this really quick here. Okay, that's it for ASMR for now. You are one of the nicest, most wholesome humans on the entirety of the internet. Thanks. Well, see, I'm not an internet person. I'm not an internet personality. I'm just a dude. So, yeah. I don't think of myself as being on the internet. There's also a new Dreamcast game called Driving Strikers. It's like if Rocket League, if it came out in the late 90s, early 2000s, and it's cross-play against Windows and Linux. That's awesome. I think Rocket League is very fun, but I'm very bad at it. And a friend of mine is very good at it. So I generally don't get to have fun when playing Rocket League. It's usually just me getting my butt kicked, and I have that face on where I'm like, oh man, it's good for you, you know, and inside I'm just crying softly to myself that I can't beat my one friend at Rocket League, and I'm just got to be happy for him that he's good at the game. Gavin, let's see. I will not run into learning a coding language before committing to an engine. Good, yeah, good. Just make sure you're comfortable with the engine and that it will work for the platform that you want. Yeah. Gino's all I've been playing is TCM and Gundam Evolution lately. I need Armored Core 6 now. Ooh, you know what? I love mech games. Let me just close this door here. So, I'm a big mech fan. I really like mechs. Gundam Wing is my favorite mech sort of anything, but I love all that stuff anyway. Oh yeah, okay, so what I'm going to do is just measure this out. My camera's so washed out, it looks like an Instagram filter, doesn't it? What if I deactivate it, turn it on and off again? I might try that. Okay, let me get my pencil so I can mark it out here. Put my hammer there. Oops, bumped my microphone. I've got more hooks as well. Just got to get them in stock here. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, so the spacing is pretty good there. See, that's a little close though, isn't it? Is that a little close? We'll just give him a little bit of space. How about that? That's probably a bit better. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to mark it here. Horizontal. And then I'll just, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a measuring trick, see? This is a measuring trick. I'll show you here. So if you don't have a tape measure with you, you can use a paper or cardboard to measure out a distance. Yeah. Let me bring this guy down here. So what I'm gonna do is I can write on this. See? So I'm gonna actually measure how far that first hook is from the top. I'm gonna mark it, and then I'll just move it across to the other side, and then I'll get the same distance. You can also fold it if it's paper. So I'll just sit it up there. Okay. Make sure I'm looking at that correctly. Yeah. There we go. So I've drawn a line on that. I've measured how high that is. I'll just bring this across. I'll draw a line there. So now I have the exact same height. I don't have a tape measure on me at the moment. I usually don't worry about it if I've got something like that. There's a life hack right there. Welcome to tool time. All right, so I'll grab this. So now what I'll do is I'll just measure that up. How does it sit there like that? It doesn't matter. So I'll line that up with the line that I made, and then I'll use my pencil, and then I'll mark where the screw should go. Okay, so there's a stud here, none there. Okay. Great. Let's go ahead and hammer in our next wall hook here. Or a screw-in anchor for plasterboard. Okay, so we'll give that a bit of a bump start with our hammer, and then we'll screw them in. It's that easy. Actually, it was cleaner. The other one was cleaner because I drilled a pilot hole first. Oh, Captain Derpy, you have to work early tomorrow. I just wanted to say thank you for helping my pain be ease day. Hey, that's what I'm here for. You come back to the Sungrand ASMR channel anytime. Take care, Captain Derpy. We'll catch up with you again soon. We've got some fun stuff coming up too as well, so we'll see you. I need that Gundam game for final send-off. Okay, so I haven't... I'm going to look up Gundam Evolution. I don't know of that one. Gina say, I don't believe that no one is good at Rocket League. My friend is good at Rocket League. Okay, no. I am very good at Rocket League, but only when it comes to knocking the ball into my own goal. I'm really good at Rocket League when it comes to that. There we go. You have a favorite competitive game, Hagen? Yes. Smash Brothers Ultimate, or Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. You have to say it correctly, you know. I love me some Smash Bros. I don't know if anyone wants to play it on stream, but if you guys want to hang out, Ben, you kind of mentioned it before with Laura. If you guys want to play some Smash Bros, I'll play Smash Bros with you on we can video it and stream it. I just love Smash Bros. I'm an Ice Climbers, Zelda, Toon Link kind of guy. You know what I mean? All right, okay. There we go. Let's go ahead and give that a test run. Great. We did it. We did it, everyone. We did it. It's a success. I've got space for 2 more on that wall as well. I'll show you more after I do a bit more setup, fixing up. Actually, I'll just spin it around real quick. I'll show you the zither corner. So it's a spot where I can put zithers up, and I can set zithers on a table and then play zithers. Over there, you can see the zither corner. Zithers, I just put those shelves up 3 days ago. A table to sit and actually play the zithers as well. Okay, you know what, guys? Let's just... Oh, I got my keyboard there, see? Alright, guys, this is the keyboard that's done all of the synth. Actually, I had a second keyboard that I used for a little bit. This is the keyboard that I've done all of the Silver Falls synth stuff on. You can barely see it in there. But, yeah, this is where all our music came from. This guy right here. This is it's a Huxley, which comes from Aldi in Australia. It's not a big fancy one, you know. But it does the job. It didn't really cost me that much, and it works great. And it actually came with Studio One, which I don't think I could live without Studio One these days. So this keyboard is valuable not because it was a good keyboard necessarily. It's a decent one, but it introduced me to Studio One, which all of Silver Falls music is written using Studio One, which is an incredible software. Just really fantastic. Arm. Okay, let me stack some things away now. Here we go. So I'll show you how the recording booth opens up for anyone that missed it. So let me go adjust this now. Brendan Carell, hey, good to see you. I'm gonna catch up to the chat here. Yo, on Android 4K 60 11 OLED NX. Whoa. EMV K 2002. The dogs come to defend. Well, yeah, my dogs are, yeah, I have two Kelpies. They're very good dogs. Unfortunately, he can't use commercial stud finders because they all malfunction in his presence. No, I have one that was supposed to be pretty good, and it's lied to me too many times. And when you've been betrayed by a stud finder, because you have that confidence, right? Like, oh, I found one, and you drill right into it, and you go straight through. It's kind of like, it hurts you, you know? It really hurts that you've been betrayed. You've trusted this stud finder for something that's probably could be pretty important, you know? Gundam Evolution is basically Gundam Overwatch. Oh, okay, that makes sense, yeah. Bandai Namco was shutting it down in November after a single year of service. Ow, ow. What's the Square Enix one? Is Marvel Avengers still running? That one was pretty rough. You just remembered something. There's a modern engine for Dreamcast called Simulant Engine that can also be used for Windows. Whoa! Whoa, nice. Okay, yeah, I'll look that up. Junos, I also know, Poop, I'm watching this stream as well as another game dev stream, and one of the tracks from Guardians and Metal Exterminators I sent him for his playlist just came on. Hey, that's awesome. Hey, cool. Thanks for spreading the music around. That's awesome. Yeah, there's I think I did 5 new tracks for Guardians on the Switch. They've been playing in the background at some point. I'm gonna clear some things out and then I'm gonna open the booth and show you guys. Okay, first, let's just see how far the door can open. I didn't measure it. I just sort of shot from the hip. So hopefully the door opens well enough I can access things in there without taking that guy down. Okay. This camera's killing me, guys. I have to do something about this. Okay, how are we now? That looks okay, doesn't it? You know what? Let's leave it like that. That's good. That's looking okay. Let's go ahead and turn that off now. Okay. Unlike Babylon's Fall, am I right? Yeah, Avengers is running and still will for some fans. It's delisting next month though, yike. Ooh. Okay, so the green screen moves out of the way. I removed the doorknob and replaced it with this small sort of... Okay. Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, I can still get things out of the closet. Okay, that is uncomfortable. That's okay. No. That's all right. I can still get things out of the closet. It's not going to hit. That's fine. So what I will do now, that's a storage, and the recording booth is mounted to the door, so it's modular. Okay. Let's get this guy out of here. Is anyone hungry? Does anyone want to go get something to eat? I could go for like a Subway sandwich or something. Oh, man. I haven't had lunch yet, so if somebody wants to get like a Subway, I'm down. I'll go to Taco Bell even. Do I need... Oops. Okay, do I need... Right, so here's what you do when you need to use the recording booth now. You just go ahead and open that door. Yeah, there we go. Sure. Okay, there's a little ring here. You just put that ring on the hook. Okay. Now the machine is there. Any recording accessories I can set in there, and I'm getting a second monitor to put down here. I usually need 3 monitors for my digital audio workspace. I like to have, obviously, the main workspace. I have where you customize and modify the voice of the instrument, and then I like to have the inspector, which shows notes if you're sort of the MIDI data. You can adjust that and fine-tune that. I need 3 monitors for all that. I'm gonna look up the Simulant engine. Yeah, I'd love to make a Dreamcast game. That'd be really fun. Brendan Krell, super excited to get back into Silver Falls. Yeah, look, I'm trying to get these updates rolled out. Still trying to figure it out. It's a bit of a challenge because it's very different from how I've rolled updates out in the past. I've got the new games coming out as well. So, do you know, say you use the same setup for your voice work? No, only worse. That's all right. Hey, that's cool. You know. Yeah. So there we go. You can see I'm using Windows. That's a fresh install for this recording booth. And that's Windows 7. I do love my Windows 7. Right, so we have this arm here which can record. If I turn this on, that's not that bad. Got an arm here. Oh, you know, okay. Let me just grab something because I need to mount my iPad. You know what? I'll show you some. I'll bring out an electric guitar. I'll get this iPad and I'll show you how I use the iPad. I use Ultimate Guitars. It's got like digital effects pedals in there. I use that for some of my work. And I've never had a good spot to set the iPad. I just got something. Let me grab it and I'll set it up. Hey guys, I want to share my favorite knife with you. Have a look at this. So this is a Browning straight edge, but it's got this really nice handle to it. Sort of like, I don't know what the heck it is. It's this really nice anodized steel there. Obviously, all of these blades will use like 440 stainless steel in this particular price range. I only paid maybe 25 bucks for this thing. Best straight edge I've ever had. Really fantastic, and I really like the finish on the metal. Very reliable. It holds its edge. This is a great knife, so I think it's my favorite one. I'd have another one, but I haven't seen them for sale in a while. Right, so I've got this thing, right, and I need my iPad to sort of set here, so I can see. So what I think I'm going to do now, I think I'm going to take it out of the case that he's in, and just have him. He's got a keyboard in there, but I don't need the keyboard anymore, and I need a longer power cable. For some reason, it is plugged in, right? But he's saying that he's not plugged in, which is a lie. He said his battery died the other night. Okay, so we have our. It is turning on. I'll just get him out of there. Wow, I need to screen clean that. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking, right? This hooky thing is going to clamp down here. So I often used this little monitor as an inspector monitor for my audio workspace, but now I'm using it so I can have when I'm doing live streams, I'll just put the chat on this window, so it's a dedicated one for that. Let me get this guy out of the way for now, though. Man, I've got cables everywhere, so I'm gonna have to do a heap of cable management. Okay, so see this. Let me just move. I'll move the webcam. You can get a close look at what I'm working on here. Ghoul Busters music just came on. Nice. Oh, hey, and I've got my drum set. It's really dusty, so I gotta clean this guy off. We got a drum set just in there, so I can do the drums. I haven't cleaned that. It got really dusty in my previous office as well. So we got to get this iPad mounted. Because again, I like using this for my digital effects pedals. I use Ultimate Guitars set up here. So I want this guy sort of like that, right? So we're going to clamp him down. I'm thinking just there, right? Because if I'm going to be sitting here doing my guitar, doing the do-do-do-do-do-do-do guitar, I got to reach over. I'm kind of thinking just here because I like using that space for things as well. All right, I'm gonna clamp this guy on down in here like that. Okay, cool. Hey, Ruby Ripper music. A Browning? Like the Browning I'm thinking of? Yeah, like the Browning gun. You have a Spyderco spring steel stretch in Aogami Super Blue Steel. Ooh, nice. Very nice. Sprint. Jimculus, hey! How's it going? Good to see ya. Hey, long no see. Nice that you are getting set up with a more productive and organized workspace. Absolutely. I've wanted a clean, organized workspace for a long time, and before I was working on the games nonstop, I didn't have time to stop, so I've torn down my office and just rebuilding and renovating and reorganizing. So I'm kind of thinking, this is like really bendy, right? Yeah, okay. Sort of. I'll adjust it on the fly. Okay, no, don't move that guy. That's his deal. Whoa, this is tougher and stronger than I thought it would be, which is real good. That's real good. Alright, let's go ahead and sit this guy in here like that. Okay. Okay, so it's a little bit droopy, isn't it? So how do we make him not so droopy? Bend it like that. Okay. And that, I think, will do it. Good. 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 Now I need a longer iPad cable, don't I? Come on, open up. Okay, let me grab an electric guitar and I'll kind of show you how things are set up here. No. Why are you like this? Now it says that I had it charging. It was charging. Made me have to be a liar. What if no, they can't charge off the computer, can they? Oops. Well, I can't plug into anything right now. Stop trying to update. You're embarrassing me in front of people. Look, that's fine. I might find a way to mount that to the side so it's less wobbly. I don't really like how wobbly it is, but functionally it is where I want it to be, which is fine. Okay. Well, I don't know if I can show you that part because I had him charging overnight. Hagen, gonna chat with some Discord bros. I'll come in on your next video stream with the little dev update. That's great, Hagen. Great. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chatting, and then we'll see you around. Take care. Good luck with your project. That's great. Awakening. My grandfather left me a Browning 12 gauge semi from the 70s. It has a gold trigger. Oh, that sounds nice. Yeah, nice one. It's good to have mementos like that of people. It's it's nice. I actually really like this track that's playing right now. Maybe I'll turn it up. You probably can't hear it. And I'm slowly trickling in, slowly getting things like my so that the recording booth here, which is just here, I just got this hub, USB hub for it. I just got a track down. I have so many USB-C cables, but it does need a plug into external power to power those, and it's a lot of fiddly things like that. You just got to, but it all adds up. It's heaps of stuff, so that's why it's been such a massive help. That people have contributed through Patreon. It's really helped me get all the equipment that I need here because it's multiple workspaces and it's all a bunch of things that you take them for granted, but they're a little more expensive than you just sort of think they are in the background. Anyway, I'll just plug that guy in there. Now get a power source for him. I got it. Great. So now, yeah, I've been waiting for that. Now I've got a USB hub. I don't know if I'm going to sit him up here. See, that's why I put a tray on here. I'm not sure if I want the USB sitting up there or not. This is part of the setup process is on sort of how that recording booth is there. There's some trays on here. I'm not sure if I want to keep the USB hub up there or if I'm going to keep it down low. So I'm going to work a bit and see how we do with that. But the idea was you can close the green screen like that. There you go. There, you can tuck away all the stuff, and you can record just there. Subway has sandwiches? Yeah, Subway. Subway, eat flesh, as the catchphrase. What's your favorite Subway sandwich, Ben? It is the Italian BMT on. Oh, they don't do honey oat, so I'll have like. I always used to ask for honey oat, but now I guess I'll just get uh, rye or whatever. But Italian BMT with honey mustard and chipotle Southwest sauce. I'll have that with cheddar cheese. How about you? All right. Let me just check what else arrived. Just I'm getting bits and pieces arriving in the mail, and let me see what else is here. All right. Well, you guys wouldn't believe how many strings I have to go through. Um, I just ordered a pack. These are only 3 packs of some brass strings. They're a guitar set, but I use them when I'm restoring some antique instruments. I'm just going to grab one off the wall. I'll show you what I'm restoring right now that I'm going to be using. I want to use it in Face Takers. Anyway, I'm going to try and see if this iPad will charge off this. You good? You going to charge? Yeah, okay, cool. Hey, great. So I'm going to grab an electric guitar, and I'll sort of show you the setup here. It's mostly working anyway. So I use this thing called iRig. This plugs into the iPad, and it lets you use digital effects pedals on there. Here's one of the things in my setup, for example. I had this very short cable. This cable has been just such an aggravation to me. I think I've ordered a longer cable now that I'm going to seek out, but that has to be so close to the amp, and it was a nightmare. It was such a nightmare. I'm recording things for all of the Silverfall soundtracks. I'm just sitting in this tight space, and it's like a security laser field. Like I can't move at all because every cable's just tangled so tight I couldn't move at all. So it was very uncomfortable working on those soundtracks. But I don't have to do that anymore. So I plug this into the iPad. I'm just gonna dig around in my supply box. I'm gonna look for a longer stereo cable there. So just a second. Give me a second here. Actually, honestly, I really should have had no. I should have had a 1/4 inch to 8 inch. I should have done that instead. I think I do, and if I don't, I should just order one. Shouldn't I? Let's see. Let me just step out. So my office is still an absolute mess. I do want to do videos and live stream from the office, but I've tore it apart, so it's in pieces still. So I'm just grabbing parts out of there, moving them into the studio, and fixing stuff. I'm going to be right back. 2 seconds. Let me find a cable that's longer. Hey, so in my office I use a ton of these. I have all kinds, all varieties of these. But say for example, this is USB 3 to HDMI that lets me get multiple monitors hooked up to a system. This is one of those mini HDMI, very small ones, and it actually turns that mini HDMI into a VGA. And this is HDMI to VGA. Yeah, I've just got a heap of these, and you never know when you're setting up a workspace and you need a specific plug. So I always have a bunch of these, and I have a bunch floating around now because I've dismantled my office. So I think I put that cable over there, just out of reach. Is that it? It's way over there, isn't it? I had an adapter as well, and I just moved him. I moved him real far away, and I can't reach him. Let's see how long this guy is. Okay, this is just part of the process, isn't it? Moving from one workspace into another. I have a bunch of cables that I left sitting here. Where did I put them? Where are my cables? I've got an extension lead for stereo. Where did I put that? Alright. Here we go. You know what? I think we can do this. Here we go. I got it. Don't worry about it. No to worry. It's just a big tangle here. Okay, here we go. See, we got one of our patch lead here. I've got one of these that should go into the patch lead. Female, and then that should go into this iRig here. Plug them in. Let me grab the guitar and I'll show you the setup here. Grab a guitar. Whoops. Everything's fine. Everything is fine. Great. Okay. This is the Flying V. This is the guitar that I used for the entirety of the Guardians and Metal Exterminator soundtrack. Every track that features guitar, use this. Okay. Let me grab my input lead here. That goes there. This guy goes in. This is very tangly down here. Once I'm done doing setup, no more tangles, no more crawling under desks. It's just going to be a nice, comfortable workspace where I've got plenty of space. So let's see if this is working here. Okay, good. This is properly charging off the battery pack at least. Come on, iPad. Great. I'm going to open. Ultimate Guitar has this great app. So, all kinds of different digital effects there. Let's go ahead and... Alright, we're going to pause it. I'm going to catch up with the chat in just a second here. Let me power this on. Okay, let me just pick something. Let me just randomly pick an effects pedal here. Whoops! Sorry, everyone. Okay, why are you doing that? I don't think it likes that that coupling that I used. That's what I'm kind of thinking here. Let me swap over to something else here, but I got a feeling it didn't like that adapter that I used. I'm sort of remembering that. Yeah, okay. We're going to have to plug in something else here. Shoot, you know what? I'll just use this crappy cable that I was using before. And we'll figure it out later. See, this is the opposite of what I want. This is just a tangled spaghetti mess now. Cables are all too short, it's all tangled. I don't want that. That's why we're setting up this office. We're not going to have that anymore. I don't have a pick on hand, do I? Nope. So for example, you can just pick a song. This is I think this is Cream, Sunshine of Your Love. You can see it. I'll sort of swing it around. there's preset stuff in here. So say, for example, Run Through the Jungle from Creedence Clearwater. Right. Is that coming through all right? I'm running this through an orange amp here. I think it's like a 10 watt or something. I've been using it for years. I like it. It doesn't take up a lot of space, you know. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Oh, I don't remember. I knew some King Crimson stuff, but I forgot it off the top of my head. Anyway, yeah, it's working. We're getting there. This thing, it was a nightmare because these cables were so short when I was recording, especially Guardians and Metal Exterminators. There's no comfortable way to sit with a flying V. It's so uncomfortable. I'm like bouncing this thing. I'm trying to not bump into any cables and barely can fit this thing on my lap. And that was in the previous recording space. As you can see, this is just such a nice, comfortable area for me. Not too spacious, you know. I can't do a flying jump kick, but I can work and I can play music comfortably here. Anyway, that's that guy. Let me grab one of these instruments. So I do a fair bit of restoration, repair, and building custom instruments. I just got a string delivery for something that I'm repairing. It's a circa 1870s instruments. I'll be right back. I'm just going to go to the zither corner and grab it real quick. Oops. Okay, great. So, this is a rare zither, circa 1870. On the board, it's called a symphony zither. I think I shared one quick video before I started the restoration on this guy. This is an interesting and difficult instrument to work on. The way that you fit the strings on, because they have the chords, but then there's strings that run underneath it. Down here is your melody strings. The way you mount the strings for the chords, see these the rods back there. You have to sort of punch out those rods, get the strings on there. So I was able to get those. And I needed to get strings down here because lyre strings are not long enough. I had to get guitar strings, a heap of them. I'm going to try and redo that. Here's some nightmare sound. Someone was asking for like noise music. There you go. That's my audition for Silent Hill 1 soundtrack, I guess. And you have your chords here. These are out of tune, of course. I wasn't going to keep retuning it until I did this bottom part here. As you work on these old instruments, these zithers were never meant to last, so they actually start warping and bending forward. So you have to work on these a very specific way. I use lower tension strings. It's not in tune, of course. That's not in tune. There you go. So I really like to focus on using interesting instruments as opposed to sitting in front of a keyboard, because your creativity will stagnate. You're just going to keep writing the exact same thing again and again if you sit there with a keyboard. So I make sure that I take old instruments that are especially foreign to me, I repair and restore them, and it gets me thinking differently. When I play something like this, I naturally will write different music and I'll play music differently. And I don't want to keep doing the exact same thing again and again for a soundtrack. You guys know it. I want Silver Falls music to be interesting, but I want each game to have its own real personality, you know. Gino say, you'll be putting out more interesting music than the last few Yamaoka attempts. Whoa! Shots fired! Whoa! Look out! Whoa! I'm flattered. I'm not trying to do any better or worse than anyone. I just want to make the best music that I can make. So, the man phoned in half of the medium, like I do 90% of my work. Ouch! I don't know what that. I haven't heard that stuff. Well, the tough thing is that after you've already proven yourself, after you've become hugely successful, and everyone already says, you know, you're the best. Where do you go from there? What are you supposed to do? You know, so creatively and professionally, I think it's very bad to be treated like you are the best. Like, oh, you're so great, wow, because there's no helping it. You'll just stop striving to be the best, to do the best that you can do. Your creativity will die once someone says, oh, this is the best, you know, like, cool, now you have nowhere to go. So, running through bamboo forest music. I forgot how good your music is. We need more OST on YouTube. Oh, I appreciate that. Oh, okay, guys, here's what I'm working on, right? So I am working on a keychain that's going to have artwork on it. It's going to have Silver Falls artwork. So each of the albums will have a keychain. It'll have artwork, and it'll have a QR code on the keychain. So when you take your phone, say, for example, your Guardians and Metal Exterminators album keychain, you hold your phone up, you look at the QR code, it'll open the album on your phone, and then you can stream the music. So I'm setting that up for each game. You can just buy the keychain, and if you wanted to, you can just go listen to the soundtrack for free as well. I'll upload things to YouTube, but that's what I'm working on behind the scenes. It's things like that I can't really talk about that much. I don't really want to spoil it or ruin it that much for people. But see, for me, my thought process is if you want to share some music with your friends and you're sitting around with your friends, you've got your keychain on you, so you say, hey, open up your phone, just scan my album keychain here. Then they can scan it, they've got the QR code, and they can listen to the Silver Falls music on their phone. So, bro, I'm gonna hit all those keychains. That's metal AF. Yeah, and I'm just gonna sell them at cost. You know, I don't want to make it a huge profit on them. It's whatever the manufacturing and shipping is. You know, so. Yeah, and of course the soundtracks will be free as well online. So I'm working on that. But I've been holding off because there are soundtracks that I'm expanding. For example, I'm working on the 3 Down Stars remaster for the Switch, and I want to do a couple more tracks for that. Just like how I did with Guardians and Metal Exterminators. I'm going to turn the music back on now. There we go. Oh, Ruby River. theme song. Yeah, so that's hopefully I can have those ready in the next couple of months or so. Gino say, I'd retire once I've peaked, so you don't need to watch yourself fail. See, that's the fear, right? Is you reach the best of what you can do, and then what do you do? So for me, it's not about that. I try not to look at my performance, and I generally don't really care in general, what people say about reviewing the games, and the quality is whatever other people say about my work isn't really going to influence me. I'm always going to keep trying to do better and to do something interesting. So yeah, I'm gonna put this guy back on the shelf. 2 seconds. Guys, I've got something really rare here. I've repaired this. This is an instrument circa 1850, extremely rare, almost impossible to find. This is a German-made table violin. You don't hold it like that. It's got spikes all over it, so I wouldn't. You sit it on a table, you use a bow. Let me just pause the music here. And I got this because I really want to use this in the soundtracks. It was in pieces when I got it. I've repaired it, put it all together. I had to make a new bridge for it as well. And it sounds so different from a normal violin. I couldn't use it in the previous soundtracks. I wanted to use this in the previous Silver Falls soundtracks, but I didn't have space where I could actually play it. So it was because my workspace was so bad, the recording space was so bad, you have to sit this on a table to play it. Now I have the zither table over there. I can play table instruments and lap instruments over there and record them. So I'll just show you what it sounds like. This is one of the rarest instruments I've ever seen. Again, it's around 1850. Almost impossible to find. There's like one similar one on eBay right now in Spain. It sounds very interesting because there are metal frets, unlike a violin. You get a very strong attack, and it's quite an interesting sound. I can't actually fret them right now because I don't have a table here in front of me, but I'll just show you that I'll be using this in upcoming soundtracks. So when you hear something that kind of sounds like a violin, but then a bit different, you'll know that it's this guy. It's a table violin. So it was very fun restoring this and repairing it and figuring out a way to make it playable. It had these weird, like, super thick, super hard metal strings on there that weren't going to play. There was no way they were going to play. So I'll finally be able to use this in soundtrack, thanks to being able to set up this studio. So, Gino say, the only stream where I get to see a restored German table violin. That's true. Name another stream where you got to see a restored German table violin. Silver Falls American football, not the same game every year. Is that... I don't know a lot about football. Does it change every year? Thank you for not giving these wonderful streams to Twitch. I don't know. Twitch just sounds like there's a lot to it. A lot you have to know. There's a lot of how the system works. I don't know anything about Twitch. And I heard you have to get into a bathtub at some point. That's a lot for me. So I think I won't be doing Twitch. But YouTube, I'm comfortable doing YouTube. That's fine. The man showing off his German table violin without even having a table set up. Well, a table is set up. It's just way over there, and there's like... I'm still setting everything up. There's a ton of stuff, so I can barely walk over there. I'm going to set this back, and I'll be right back. Okay. So this is a Japanese instrument. It can be referred to as a taisho goto or taisho koto, or I've seen it referred to as a Nagoya harp, Nagoya harp, and it's absolutely fascinating, really beautiful. I'm not sure if I've shared it in a video or two before it because I've been working on soundtracks, and I think I have uploaded one video with it. It was invented around the time that typewriters were becoming popular, which is why the keys look like typewriters, and they just thought it would really connect with people. People would be able to understand it. And I got this specifically to do the soundtrack for Road Past Guilt, Silver Falls RPG, and that's because one of the main characters, sort of the lead protagonist in Road Past Guilt, is from Japan. His name is Nobuo Sakurai. No, okay. So this, I can play this acoustically, but specifically got this one because it has electromagnetic pickups. Let me just plug this in here. Take that out. Oh, yeah, I remember now. I have to use I have a specific plug for this, and I'm not sure where it is this very second in order to go into the amp. Let me just have a quick eyeball here. Okay, so my cables are all over the place right now, but this does go, you can use any kind of guitar pedal effects. I'm kind of holding this weird. Yeah, you got it, Ginoze. So, yeah, the protagonist of Silver Falls RPG is from Japan. He's Japanese. It's a JRPG, isn't it? Yeah. And some of it, like a lot of I haven't talked much about Road Past Guilt much yet. So I'll share a bit. I'll wrap things up soon. But so to speak, some of the story that the character deals with, Nobu Sakurai, is he misses home. He misses Japan. He's lived in Silver Falls for about like 6 or 7 years or something like that. But he's, obviously misses Japan. Still feels like he's wondering whether or not his parents have said, we'll give it a few years and see if you want to stay here in Silver Falls. And Nobu is at a point where he doesn't really feel like he wants to stay in Silver Falls, and he's kind of thinking he would like to go back to Japan. And while during the course of the story, and I wrote a story because it would feel like it is a JRPG, is a mysterious girl shows up. A mysterious girl from a foreign land, and she's actually also from Japan, and she's landed in Silver Falls for some reason, and you don't know exactly why. And Nobu takes it upon himself to feel like, well, I should show her the ropes because, Nobu feels like when he got to Silver Falls, he felt like a fish out of water, and he didn't understand anything, and he didn't feel like he belonged anywhere. So he feels like, well, I know how she feels, so I'll spend some time with her, and I'll help her figure out, what it's like to live here in Silver Falls. And it's a lot of that. And the Road Past Guilt is the characters that are featured in the story of Road Past Guilt RPG are grappling with some sort of guilt. And Nobu wants to go to Japan. He doesn't want to stay in Silver Falls, but his parents want to stay in Silver Falls. And he feels guilty, like, I'm going to make my parents go back to Japan when they don't want to. What should I do? All the characters in Road Past Guilt are dealing with some sort of story like that. Super Smash. If you were to have a Nintendo 64 game, it should be called Silver Falls Nightmare 64. Well, I have shown in previous streams the logo for Silver Falls 64 is already done. And it's just Silver Falls 64. And for anyone that missed that stream, it takes place in the year 1964. And it stars Silver Falls characters that you'd be familiar with at this point. That is too clever. You're making a traditional JRPG story structure in a RPG, which is a JRPG. Yeah? I just thought it'd be fun to sort of... We all know what genres are and the stereotypes, and I think to reference them and pay homage to them while not falling into the trap of those stereotypes is exciting for people to see. Because we all know what JRPGs and RPGs are like. But Road Past Guilt will be very different. and it was fun to conceptualize that. So, say for example, I was working on how will the player traverse Silver Falls in Road Past Guild, and it's difficult to fit the structure of a typical RPG because in an RPG, you're on the world map, you're exploring all around the world, you go to different towns. You think of Pokemon, here's a town, here's a town, here's a city, here's a city, and that's not feasible in Silver Falls because that's not how the world is set up. You don't just go to other towns because that means that's a whole other universe that you have to write. And so the way that I've structured Road Past Guilt is that you're not traveling from town to town, you're traveling from campsite to campsite and campground to campground. And so it feels like these campgrounds are their own cities. If you were playing a traditional RPG, these would be the cities and towns that you go to as different campsites, different campgrounds, and they all have their own people, their own characters, they have their own culture to them, they all look different, and that's how I structure Road Past Guilt. So you travel through, what's the equivalent of the overworld in Road Past Guilt, but you're staying within the environment of Silver Falls and the mountains, and you're, instead of saying, oh, we got to go to Viridian City, it's like, oh, did you know that if you go to Bear Lake Campground, there's this here, and you get there, and in the sense of an RPG, once you get to Bear Lake Campground, it feels like you've reached the next town because all of a sudden, oh, there's different culture here. It looks different. It's big. It's got its own items and its own people. And those are the kinds of things that I've had to consider while developing Silver Falls RPG. And I'm really looking forward to this game. I really want to get RPG out to you guys because RPGs, they're my favorite genre. I would love to be making nonstop RPGs. And this is the game that's meant to tie together so many characters that have appeared in the other Silver Falls games. You get to build a team and have them in Road Past Guild. Anyway, let me go ahead and put this guy safely back where he belongs. Oh, Crunkus. How big of a town is Silver Falls supposed to be? I've gone through the games to a point, but I'm not the greatest at envisioning a scope like that. We don't really know. Because it's spread out throughout the mountains. So in Three Down Stars is where you really get to explore sort of the main street a little bit, but when you try to leave, it says, oh, there's nothing there, or the game stops you from going any further. It's not a big town, so I think the population, is like less than 2,000, and it's spread out around the mountains, but it's not huge. It's not big, Put this in his case. Okay, this is an instrument I built specifically for Silver Falls duck season. And if you guys haven't heard the news, or I think I only mentioned it in our 4th of July stream, I'm doing duck season for the Nintendo DS, and there will also be an official Switch version for duck season because I know not everyone will be able to play the game on the DS. So there will be an HD port of duck season on the Nintendo Switch. I want the soundtrack, the majority of the soundtrack, I want tracks to be comprised entirely of the banjo family of instruments. So I built this fretless bass banjo. It has a black Remo head on there to maximize the low end. It is fretless using brass strings to balance out that low end, using a gold tone neck headstock. very happy with this instrument. Let me go ahead and pause it. Hey, Game Freak 924, good to see you. Well, we've done a whole thing. We're sort of hanging wall hooks on instrument wall hooks. I was sort of showing how you can take down the recording booth here and fold it away. We've been setting up the office, the studio here. This is the recording space and also the green screen for any live streaming and also doing motion capture. And I'm just sharing a bass banjo that I finished building last week, and I'll be using this for duck season. I can use it in other Silver Falls games as well, obviously, but I built it specifically for duck season because many of the tracks in duck season will be using only banjo family of instruments. Crunkus, do you plan on having the Sungrand shop restocked? I'd like to grab that Holt bomber jacket before the colder months hit. It's when you order it, the products are made when you order it. So unless the manufacturer has run out, I'll investigate it and I'll look into it. Actually, I'll grab the jacket and I'll show you now. It's more of an autumn jacket. Let's see here. Let me stack this away. And then I'll grab the jacket and show you. So yeah, that's the bass band. The jacket isn't listed on the page anymore, just the hoodie. Oh, thanks. Okay, I'll investigate that and look into it. Thanks for letting me know. The manufacturer must have changed a listing or something or some detail, so I might have to set up another item. This is the jacket itself. But thanks for letting me know about that. Keep yourself alive. So it's not leather, you know, and you probably won't sweat out wearing this. So it's not terribly thick, but it has an inner lining and an outer layer, and it's really meant to be used in autumn. So it has like windbreaker sort of quality to it. It doesn't feel cheap, but it's lightweight, so it's pretty easy to use. So if you were sort of moving around a bit, there it is there. And because the pockets, you know how Holt's jacket has the leather patch on the pockets there, whereas this jacket didn't. So I had to just print patches on the pockets there to make it look like Holt's jacket. All right, so I usually wear a medium, but I would order the next size up because Holt's jacket is a little loose fitting. And this jacket, so this is a large, even though I normally wear a medium. So I would say with a Holt jacket, order the next size up. Yeah, and there you are. I really like this jacket. It's pretty comfortable. I'll check the Sungrand shop again, and I'll figure out why it's not listed. So thanks for letting me know. It's still like 90 degrees here. Yeah, I just came from California, and it was sizzling over there. So yeah, great. And I was concerned these were going to be a bit hot, but it's comfortable. I've worn it at night, and it's pretty good at night. I was wearing it in the summertime in California, and I thought it was pretty comfortable. And I think they're good up to autumn. Once you're in wintertime, you might want to have something underneath it to help keep you warm. Where'd my hanger go? Here it is. All right, I think we might wrap up the stream. I'm starving. I'm gonna grab something to eat, but it's awesome to see you guys. Does your manufacturer do 4X? I'm a tall, big dude. I'll check and then I'll get back to you. Um, I should. The listing should have had all the sizes on there. If they do up to, um, most of the products, the manufacturers will do up to 3x. Um, I'll check. I'll double check on that and see if they've got 4x, and I'll investigate why. Website could use some updating. Oh yeah, absolutely. Thanks for reminding me. Absolutely. And it's this is the main um, sort of difficulty that you deal with when you if you're going to be a solo developer and you do everything yourself. That means you manage the shop all by yourself, you manage the website all by yourself, any of this workspace stuff you do by yourself, the game development you do by yourself. So it's just a matter of sitting down and saying, okay, that's what needs done right now. I do need to get back to the website because a lot's happened in the past few months, especially the past 4 or 5 months. Yeah, I'll absolutely get to it. As soon as this space is all ironed out, my office is next. I'm hoping to have my office at least slightly partially functional tonight. The studio, as you can see, is partially functional. I'm able to do a live broadcast here. A couple more days, I'm just waiting for some parts to be delivered. Everything will be fully set up. Everything will be tidy. I've got stuff everywhere right now. Then my office, I'll need a couple days, and that's going to be 100% fully functional. And then, yeah, the renovations will be done in there. So let me go ahead and tuck that away. I think we will wrap up soon. I'm starving. I got to get something to eat. Okay. Don't push yourself too hard. Yeah, that's what I've done in the past, and it was very bad for my health. So I'll work my hardest, but to a healthy degree this time. Yeah. He's a lumberjack and you yeah, why a work all day and sleep all night? Is that it? Dildo fingers. All right, it's great to see you all again. It's great to hang out. Again, we'll be doing regular live streams now. I'll be able to work and do all different aspects of game development while doing live streams and hanging out, just chatting, and I have some fun ideas for just funny stuff on live stream. So, all right, take care, everyone. And before we go, I'll just leave you off with these. It's good to see you again. Thanks for sticking around. Appreciate all of your support, especially for everyone helping out on Patreon, because it's helped me get a lot of the stuff that I need for the studio. So great to see you, everyone. Take care. I'll be live streaming again soon. I'll be sharing more stuff about the games. See ya. I gotta get some food. I am starving. Take care. We'll see you guys in the Discord. Yeah, I don't know what's for lunch. I'm gonna figure it out. See you next time, everyone. Take care.